What's up, YouTube fans? Today we're going to take a look at the Transformers and Jurassic Park collaborative Dilophocon and JP12. So this is for the Jurassic Park 30th anniversary. They worked with Hasbro to create Transformers crossover, and I thought this was pretty cool. Luckily, Tanner J allowed me to take a look at this set before sending it off to him. So thanks to Tanner for letting me take a look. This is a Amazon exclusive set and it looks pretty cool. Let's take a look at each of these individually. So the Dilophocon got some nice green, brown paint, and then on the eyes you have some yellow. This eye is a little messed up just because there's a screw there, so it looks like the screw is the eye, but there's a yellow paint there. Here's the back. Overall pretty good looking. It is kind of a retool, heavy retool of their fossilizers from the Kingdom line, but it is changed quite a bit. So I really do like the way it looks. The legs are actually locked into here, but let's take a look at the articulation on this guy. While we're here, head can go down to there, up to there. You can actually open up the mouth all the way up to there, and that looks really good. You can rotate these on an angle, which I think they did move in the movie, but they can be knocked off easily. Here's what it looks like without it. Pretty naked without it, so I don't recommend not having that, but they made it so that it can't, instead of breaking, it just comes off. Rotation here at a ball joint, a little bit of in and out on that arm. The leg can detach. It's actually pegged in right here. I think it's meant to be pegged in this dyno mode, but I feel like you get better articulation out of it if you detach it. You can have him running or standing up a little bit taller. When you have it pegged in like that, he kind of sits a little bit low. So that's an option, I guess. You have a rotation at the knee. It's not too much because it starts unpegging this panel. So you get a little bit there. The ankle has quite a bit of articulation. So you get forward all the way there, back to there, side to side because it's on a ball joint, and a rotation. So you get a lot of movement out of those ankles. And again, like I said, you can get them standing up a little bit taller. The tail can rotate up like that. You can actually rotate the whole thing just due to transformation, but it looks fine as you rotate it up. And there you go for his articulation. For the JP12 Jeep, we got some nice details here. Tampoed JP12 there. Yellow paint for the signal and markers. You have translucent blue for the headlights. They even went as far as to give him a license plate, Jurassic Park number 12. That is attention to detail for sure. That's really nice. Red paint on the wheels and number 12 again. A nice Tampo Jurassic Park symbol there. That looks really good. More red paint on the wheels. On the back you have painted taillights. Again, the Jurassic Park number 12 license plate, red paint. And you have the classic Jeep spare wheel. By the way, this is officially licensed by Jeep. They went so far as to even have the holographic thing there. So I just thought that's a really a big effort by Hasbro to get this to be a true Jeep. Now this is of course a retool of their Hound. They haven't released Hound, which is interesting that we got this before we got the actual Hound. Not sure if it's going to be Legacy or Studio Series 86 or what, but this is basically a retool and repaint of their Hound, and it looks great. Nice light bar up here. It does roll on these wheels. You can open up the doors just due to the transformation, but I think that's really cool that they worked that in. As far as the weapons, we get a few things here. One, we get the can of Barbasol. And instead of saying Barbasol, it's got the Autobot symbol there. I just thought that was very cool. You can remove the inner core, which has I think it was embryos or DNA that he stole from Jurassic Park. He stored it in the Barbasol can. This can store down here. It just pegs in right there. I thought that was really neat that they figured out a way to do that. Very cool. You also get this, which is the gun in robot mode, but becomes the winch for the Jeep. So you can just take this, plug this into here, and that looks phenomenal. that looks like it belongs there. Really well done. And we also get a blast effect, or I guess acid effect, because he sprayed acid, or his saliva is actually poisonous, but you can have this and you can be attacking the Jeep. Very nice accessories overall. Alright, now let's get these guys transformed into their robot modes, and we'll start with Dilophocon here. I don't know if I'm saying that right, by the way, but go ahead and bring this hip panel down. It'll plug in down there, and you can straighten out the leg. Same on this side. Bring this down, plug that in, straighten out the leg. Come to the arms here, we can fold these outwards. They're just pegged in down here. Come to the back, we're going to rotate these dino arms just so they're hidden onto the back. Come to the tail, we're going to unpeg this tail from here. It's a pretty secure connection. There we go. So unplug that. This is going to rotate up and hide on the back. These fins like to come off, so just make sure they're attached properly. I'm going to pull back on the neck piece here and forward on the head. So it's going to detach like that. Bring this down. We're going to open up this backpack, open up the head, bring that back forward. This is going to come down and accordion and then store inside the chest like this. For this piece, we're going to bring this back, and then you're going to rotate these out, and this should be able to rotate all the way around, but it sometimes just bumps into it. But bring these back down. It'll sit on its back like this. So let's move on to JP12. So for this guy, we're going to start on the bottom here. We can actually remove the canister. Might as well remove the gun too since we're here. So we'll set that aside. And we'll take the bottom part here, unpeg these feet. You can lift up on this. This is a very tight hinge. It's actually stored there as well. You really have to lift on this pretty firmly. And especially at first, even now, after several transformations, it's still very tight. It's this joint right here. So you just got to put some muscle into it. It feels like you're going to break it, especially because it's translucent plastic, but it doesn't break. It's very sturdy. No issues. I just wanted to mention you got to put more force than you think. Fold this panel in, and that tabs in on the bottom here, like that. And actually, you can quite tab in. Okay, there we go. You're going to take the legs, open up the doors on both sides, split the legs, open up this panel, rotate the leg down, close that panel back up, bring the foot all the way around, and that's one leg. So go ahead and do the same thing on this side. Open up the panel, flip the leg out, close the panel, flip your foot all the way down. And there are your legs. Bring the hip skirt down, this little black piece right here. Take the arms, unpeg them from right here. You're just pegging to the side. And by the way, I forgot to mention, if you have the wrists rotated like this, it looks a little bit better in the Jeep mode. When I got it in the box, it wasn't like that, so that just is my recommendation, is to have it rotated to the outside for Jeep mode. Great, come to the top here, you can just kind of lean this back. We're going to open up this panel here. We're going to take these wheels, slide them down one click, so they open up like this, and then inwards. Down one click, inwards. Take this whole assembly on the top, that's going to slide down. A very classic thing for a Hound, and it should lock into place. We can bring the arm back up on this hinge, and there's a tab that's going to go into a slot. If you open this up, there's a slot right there on the top of his shoulder. So bring this up, tab that in. Same on this side, open up this panel, bring the shoulder up, tab it in. Last little bit here, we're going to take this backpack piece. There's two tabs on the back of his shoulders that's going to fit into the backpack. So bring your backpack forward, get that tabbed in, This is going to come down and sit like that. This is going to come back and sit on top of that. And the doors can just sit back that way. All right, and there is Dilophocon and JP12 in their robot modes, and pretty nice looking. Let's take a look at this guy. He's got some yellow eyes, green for the mouth. All that same paint detail we had before. Some molded in, sculpted in details here on the inside. Here's the back. Oops, that should be up like this. Overall, pretty nice looking. Let's go over his articulation. Head's on a ball joint, so you get a little bit up and down. It does rotate around. Shoulders rotate around on a ball joint out to there. There is a butterfly joint just due to the transformation, so you can get this in and out. 90-degree bend at the elbow on a ball joint, which also rotates around. No ab crunch or waist swivel here. Legs go all the way up to there on a ball joint, back to there on a ball joint, out to the side on a ball joint. You have a rotation at the ball joint and at the thigh around a mushroom peg. 90-degree bend at the knee. The ankles are very articulated. It goes forward to there, back to there, side to side on the ball joint, and it rotates on the ball joint. So plenty of movement on those ankles. So let's take a look at JP12. His head is also on a ball joint, so you get a tiny bit of up and down. Rotates all around. He does have those blue glasses with the black for his hair and then black for the headset that he used in the control center. Shoulders rotate around on a ball joint. There is a hinge here that you can use. So between the hinge and the ball joint, you can get it way up to there. Rotation at the bicep. 90-degree bend at the elbow. You have a rotation at the wrist. No waist rotation or ab crunch here. It's kind of a disappointing thing. I hope they build it in for Hound, but there is nothing here. But you can move the hip skirt out of the way, which allows you to get the leg up to there, back to there, out to the side, all in friction. Rotation at the thigh and a mushroom peg. 90-degree bend at the knee. You have ankle tilt in both directions, forward and backward as well. So that's pretty nice articulation as well. For the accessories, you can use the Barbasol can here, and he can remove the core with the DNA if you want. You can display him like that, or with the whole can, and that will fit into his hand like this. You can also use the gun. It's done in black plastic. That will fit in the other hand, so you can blast some dinosaurs. You also get a little construction hat, which will fit in one of the scenes when he went out into the forest. He was wearing this, so this will just peg into the head, and that fits in nicely. So there's all his accessories, pretty nice. For Dilophocon, you still get this tail. You're going to flip this around, and it has that gun. This will fit into his hand, and now you have this. You can also take the blast effect and plug that into the gun, and he can be blasting JP12. And for a quick size comparison, there is next to the Rise of the Beast Optimus Prime, and fits in nicely, similar to other deluxe scale robot cars. Looks good. So final recommendations on the Transformers and Jurassic Park collaborative Dilophocon and JP12. I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5. I'm going to recommend it. I really like what they've done here. If you're a Jurassic Park fan, this is definitely a must-have because they just did such a good job on the Jeep. And the dinosaurs also, I think, really well done. I like the accessories they included, the winch and the gun. That's just pretty appropriate. And then the Barbasol can with the DNA in it. That's just very, very neat and well thought out. The robot modes also work pretty well. The only reason I didn't give this a 5 out of 5 is he doesn't have any waist rotation or ab crunch, and that would have just made that a perfect figure. Maybe they'll do that for Hound, but they didn't include it here. But other than that complaint I have here, this is a really good set. So if you're a fan of Jurassic Park or you just like these collaborative sets, this is definitely one to pick up. I recommend it. That's it for today. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.